Set up early, the podcast. I just get him set up so it's plug and play. It's in his contract, the talent.
My name is Tim Green, and I have ALS. That's my son, Troy Green.
Okay, so you're in.
We're podcast partners and next-door neighbors.
I set up his, I join it on there, and then I'll join here on my side. My dad's background is kind of perfect for podcasting. I like to joke that if I did half of what my dad did, twice the amount of people would know about it.
You may remember me as an Atlanta Falcon, where I sacked the likes of Marino, Montana, and Moon.
Tim Green coming on him. Green sacks him.
Or perhaps you know me better by my voice.
The running of Terrell Davis, the Super Bowl MVP.
The voice that first accompanied Joe Buck when he began broadcasting football.
Well, first of all, this is not the high-powered offense they've seen in the past few weeks. They're not the Bills.
Or the one that's been injected into every page of my many books.
Ghosts of steam curled up from his bare arms in the chilled night air. Skin slick with...
Tim is like a Superman. There's nothing that he can't do.
I thought ALS had taken my voice, the one you're hearing now, away forever.
There he is.
But thanks to my son, I have it back. To form the words, I am using an eye tracking technology where I select each individual letter with my eyes. Then, for my voice, I am using 11 Labs AI technology, which converts the text into my real voice prior to my diagnosis.
11 Labs doesn't work in an offline model, so he uses a different voice. I say it's a robot with a Tim Green accent, and that's what he uses to talk.
Hi, Tolly. I love you and you're beautiful.
What do you say?
Do you want to watch something on my screen?
Yeah. Somebody was telling me about 11 Labs to use in a business sense, to make cold calls that sound more real and you could do it at scale. And they said they could make anyone's voice as long as there was some audio from it. And I know my dad has a lot of audio out there.
And I think a young quarterback's best friend isn't his top wide receiver. It's not his dog. It's his running back.
And the thought was kind of, we take whatever he says, we mute it, and we put in a clip from 11 Labs.
Today's guest is an NFL legend, Dwight Freeney.
7-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion, and one of the most feared pass rushers in league history. Our podcast is called Nothing Left Unsaid, a fitting name, considering I have lived life leaving no stone unturned. I got to work at one of my dream jobs for 8 years in the NFL.
Tim Green's got him. And there he is again. Big old Tim Green.
Football taught me that effort sometimes overcomes talent, and preparation almost always does. Never was this more clear than when I made my favorite NFL play. The Dallas Cowboys were the visitors at Fulton County Stadium. There was a play the D-line saw in our film study on Wednesday morning. It was the right down, it was the right distance, it was the right formation. I was supposed to stay inside, but I knew the play. So I slipped the guard, and I was free as a bird in the backfield.
Dropped for the safety, Tim Green.
I had to tackle Mr. Smith in the end zone for a safety if possible, and Emmitt Smith didn't get to the NFL Hall of Fame by not running over or juking the jockstrap off of some 245-pound defensive lineman, which is pitifully small in the NFL. Then a feeling washes over you like a strike of lightning as the crowd roars and your teammates swarm you to celebrate.
A great play by Tim Green.
Well, maybe it didn't take a valedictorian to figure out that Emmitt Smith was going to get the football in that situation, but that's what Green was at Syracuse. He diagnosed it beautifully, didn't he?
He surely did.
In the 8th year of my NFL career, I got to do my other dream job, I became a novelist. 42 books later, I continue to write middle-grade novels, although at a much slower rate. The last 3 were written entirely by typing with my eyes. But it brought me some luck because my last book, Final Season, hit #1 on the New York Times bestseller list. That was a lifelong goal of mine.
When I was in elementary school, I didn't know my dad had a job. I thought he announced football games for fun, and I knew he wrote books, but again, I thought he just did it because he liked writing books. I'd be in my class, and they'd be like, parents coming in to read to the class today, and I'd look at the door, and who'd walk in? It'd be him. I'm sitting there going, man, don't you have any hobbies or something? Like, there's gotta be something better for you to do than come here and read to this class.
Nothing mattered more to me in life than having my family's back. And when I needed them most, they had mine. ALS is a tough illness. It attacks the nerve cells that control your voluntary muscles. Over time, things get progressively harder and harder until you eventually lose the ability to breathe, eat, move, etc. I used to love food, all kinds of food. Italian, Indian, American, Jewish, English, Japanese, Chinese, Hungarian, German, Spanish, you name it. Also, I loved coffee, German beer, and red wine, especially Caymus Special Select Cabernet Sauvignon. Now I have to get my nutrition through a hole in my stomach.
Morning.
I used to exercise every day and work out with weights twice a week. Now I am completely paralyzed. My arms are like twigs, my legs are thin and wasted away, and my middle looks like I swallowed an inner tube. In 2019, I needed a tracheotomy, a procedure which would allow me to continue breathing, but leave me unable to speak.
Initially, my dad didn't want to get the trach, which ultimately means, you die.
My initial belief was that if I couldn't talk, smell, eat, drink, or move, that life simply wouldn't be worth living. When ALS began taking those things away, I had already decided the loss was too great, that it meant losing what I believed was living itself. But Troy, he pushed through that.
I said to him, I have a daughter, at that time, really young daughter. I'm like, dude, I have no clue what I'm doing. Like, I need you here to ask you questions. She's gonna need you here to talk to when she gets older. Basically, you can't go.
Pop, guess what? These 2 teeth are wiggly.
I said, if you try it and you don't like it, everyone will say, don't do it. I'll personally drive you somewhere and we can take the trach out ultimately, with him passing. I said, but you gotta just try it. You gotta fight. And that's when I decided to do it.
Troy challenged my very definition of living. He helped me see that life is still life, that love is still love, and that the things that I could still do outweighed the physical things I could no longer do.
Not in a cliche, corny way, but he's really my best friend. I was just in my head picturing, he's the captain of the ship. I'll be the first mate. Whatever he has challenges doing, I'll try and jump in and fill in. And I can't do it the way he can do it, but I'll, try and do it the best I could. We got Dwight Freeney today. He played at Syracuse after my dad, and he almost got his sack record. Couldn't get it, but almost got it.
Tim, how are you?
Dwight, I'm gonna give you like a quick kind of spiel here that I tell everybody.
Okay.
So my dad's got it. I say like 2 voices. So one you hear today, it sounds like a robot with a Tim Green accent. And then we edit the episode, so when it comes out, it'll be like his voice pre-ALS.
Okay.
Dad, whenever you're ready, you kick us off. He's looking up like there's a tab up there. He usually types this out. Just so.
Yeah. Dwight, you've played in 3 Super Bowls and you've won 1.
When you think about the biggest moments of your career, good or bad, what memories flood back first?
Actually, it's the last time. It was the first and the last time.
Troy is the one that encouraged me to get the tracheotomy, even though that meant I had to learn new ways to communicate. And now he's the one determined to help me reclaim my voice, literally my voice.
The last time I heard him, like really his voice, say 2016, 2017. When you can't hear someone's voice for so long and then you hear it again, it felt like a dream.
Troy is the only person on earth who wants to restore normalcy to my life more than I do. He has never accepted the idea that ALS gets the last word. His belief in who I am and who I can still be has helped inspire me through these past 6 years, filled with more unforgettable memories than I ever imagined were still possible.
I hear so many stories that I've never heard before.
Tim, I don't know if you remember, but you and I went to Denny's after we did our audition. And your dad, Troy, wrote on a piece of paper, I was like, well, Tim, do you have any good books that Dumb Joe could read that are interesting? That has been with me and will be with me for as long as I'm on this earth.
The thing that I am proudest of is my family. My wife and I have been married for over 36 years, and she is beautiful both inside and out. All our kids are special. I mean, really special.
All you have in this life is your family. When the chips are down, they're there. When the chips are up, they're there. And you can count on them.
ALS has taught me not to take anything for granted. I live each day confronted by my mortality. I can't hide from it. It's right there, slapping me in the face. And the other thing you learn is it's not over until it's over, so you gotta push to get things done. Mainly, giving Jesus Christ glory for dying for our sins. And I am grateful that God's given me the opportunity to do that because I am well past my expiration date.
It's not even believable what he can do, and he does not quit. Even now, he doesn't quit. He doesn't complain. He's happy of what he has and what he doesn't have.
Nothing that ALS affected is who my dad really is. Because like the physical part was really cool, but that's not what made him him.
Never been afraid in your life?
Never.
I love it.
His voice would boom,
These 2 teams are like neighboring countries.
and that's not what made him him.
Players who knew how to win.
He's still living such a fulfilling and great life. It's a little different, but it's just the same.
One thing that you can see in literature throughout the ages is an author that can really capture something moving, has at some point in time in his life experienced something very intense. And when you have an experience that's incredibly intense, it heightens your awareness in all other areas of your life, and it makes you a more acute observer of everything around you. It sounds crazy, but that's me.